Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy Heroes video and to a brand new season of Grand Arena 5v5. I suppose first things first, I should say a massive sorry for not uploading. Obviously, thank you all of you that have stuck around and stayed subscribed. Obviously, I do really appreciate all your patience. I unfortunately just didn't have the time to play the game due to personal and work life circumstances, which obviously meant I didn't really have time to upload to YouTube as well. And I did almost quit the game at one point, but Jar Jar brought me back. I obviously really wanted Jar Jar to come to the game. If any of you have watched my previous videos for like lists of characters I wanted to come, Jar Jar was on that list. And even though he's a year late, I'm still very happy that the Gungans are making an appearance. And obviously we do have Queen Amidala and hopefully some more Phantom Menace content coming, which is actually really exciting because the prequels are kind of what I grew up on Star Wars. Obviously, I think the first Star Wars film I actually watched was Revenge of the Sith in the cinema. So that kind of showed my age at 28 years old. But this is going to be very interesting, obviously, for the Grand Arenas to start off with, because I haven't really been engaging with the game. So I don't really know how certain things interact with like data quants and things, but I do know that Jawas still blow things up, like as you saw there. So obviously, as you could tell, I am doing a voiceover over pre-recorded footage of my first round, and we do have some fun in this one. I didn't actually use, well, small spoiler, I didn't actually use any Galactic Legends on their wall. Obviously, we are going to have to try and climb back up to a good ranking that I was at before, obviously for my GP size, that is. So we are going to have to climb up because I did drop down to almost my lowest ever ranking. I think I'm just above the Kyber 3 threshold, which is obviously really bad, but I've just basically been doing on the odd occasion one battle and then calling it a day. Obviously, sometimes I did manage to get a win with like a 75-0, for example. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a slog trying to figure out how everything works again. So I'm going to be talking over this footage. Obviously, we do have Bad Batch versus Qui-Gon Jinn. This is a broken Qui-Gon Jinn team with obviously old Ben in there who isn't Galactic Republic. So very easy for Bad Batch to deal with. Obviously, as you saw, I do have Omega at Relic now. We're so anti-relicking her up, but I do feel like with Bad Batch Season 3 coming around the corner, we probably are going to need a Relic Omega for something. I just can see us getting like a Crosshair or something event that we need Omega geared up, obviously to run a Bad Batch team or something in the event. I have no idea. But yeah, obviously decent start, 2 back-to-back Max Banner wins, and then we're going to move over to Iden, and I do believe I use Raddus here. See, Raddus have that very good anti-Empire synergy, and they can do the preventable revives when they have Spark of Rebellion, which obviously very good for killing Iden early on if you can, but most of the time she normally only pops once you get to the big ultimate from Raddus. So as you can see from the screen as well now, I do not have as many data points as I have had in previous seasons, but I am hopefully going to be building up some more of the new green set before this conquest ends, which I am obviously going to be getting Bane as well, which is going to be really exciting. He does look like an absolute monster with C, so that should be quite fun to use with him going forwards. Maybe I'll actually start using Trench properly now, with what's being able to be used elsewhere, but probably what will end up with SWGOH or something, or some other Galactic Legend that needs it, like a Jet Bastler, JML, Watt team. But yeah, this is a pretty straightforward counter. Obviously, you do have the Dazes as well from Raddus's lead, which is obviously an anti-Empire thing as well. There's a nice cleanse there. And it's basically just build up to ultimate, and then once you're in ultimate, it's kind of game over at that point, really. Those exposures obviously really nice. This is a really good, actually really good Iden team. Double taunt, obviously Scout Trooper in there. Obviously, if you don't have Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, Scout's very good with Iden. Obviously, Death Trooper is kind of a staple in that team as well. If you don't have the Death Trooper, did I say Death Trooper? Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. What did I even say? I'm pretty sure I said like Death Trooper Iden or something. I was going to say Dark Trooper Moff Gideon if I didn't say that, but oh, I'm off to do a great start on my resurgence back on YouTube. So next up we have the Dash team. I have no idea what I used against this. I cannot remember at all. What did I use? Those Iden against this. Oh, I know I used bounty hunters against this. Obviously saw Zam, so I was going to use bounty hunters. Considering that I've heard, well, I've not actually tried it, or seen it, but apparently Fennec struggles against Lord Vader this season with the Doubt Cron, which obviously stops turn meter and things, so I can kind of that actually. So actually just utilizing a proper bounty hunter squad to get the job done. Obviously Fennec is very good here under a boss bleed to get the 5 hits on a basic, so you can get to contract very easily, which I believe we do get here. Obviously 2 kicks with her is enough to get contract, and then with Mando we can disintegrate who we wanted. I wanted to try and get Hondo out if I could, but I do think we end up going for Nest. Kind of hoping that AoE was going to kill off Dash as well, but it didn't, unfortunately. Only killed off Chewie, which I wasn't sure whether that was meant to be Fandor. We've got days on us now, but no worries. We just cleanse with Grief. I did think Grief has probably one of the best cleanses in the game. I'm just going to say that right now. The fact that you can cleanse everything, give tenacity up and retribution, I think is great. And obviously heal at the same time, which is it's a pretty big ability, let's say. But especially for obviously a non-attacking ability. Amazing how much Grief made such a massive difference to the Bounty Hunter faction when he was released. Bounty Hunters weren't a great faction obviously before we got all the Mando stuff. All the Jabba Bounty Hunters as well. But the Mando and Grief combo makes a massive difference to Mandos, as you can see there, for a nice 65 banner win. And then I believe we just keep things simple and we go for a 501st gas counter versus Talzin. Not taking a Datacron because I didn't think I needed to. And this is going to be a very easy win because obviously gas lead prevents a revive, so they can't do anything once they die. Obviously zombie will come back because that's just, I think that's unpreventable. Revive on her unique, but the others, once they're dead. So this is going to be quite an interesting result in terms of the banners I get. I don't know why I get the banners I do. Whether someone can actually enlighten me as to why I get the banners I do, which I'll just say I do get 65 banners here, but I kind of expecting to get 64 because gas wasn't full protection, but for some reason it gave me full protection. So I don't know what that was or why, but I'll quite happily take the banners. But yeah, so it gave me the protection banners there for gas, and I have no idea why when I was looking through after I did the round. It's happened quite a few times in this Grand Arena where I felt like one of my characters was just a little low on protection not to get that last banner, and then I ended up getting 65. So I don't know whether there's like a 15 to 20%, not 15, no, 20%, maybe a 10% threshold on like protection to give you a banner. I don't know how that really works, I suppose. But yeah, only Galactic Legend we see on the board is of course Jabba, and we're going to take Aphra against it. I do normally take B2 and Magna against Jabba because obviously you can trigger B2's taunt and he strip the buffs, not taunt, sorry, trigger his turn. Oh, fumbling with words. It's been quite a while since I've done this, but yeah, trigger his turn and then the bonus turn obviously gives him the chance to then remove the buffs. Obviously get buff immunity on Chrysanthemum and you can go after everyone else, but it never actually falls into place here. Aphra and BT just take loads of turns. My BT1 is Relic 8, so he does a lot of damage. Not that I really think he does too much damage here. Not as much as I wanted, at least. It would have been nice if he'd killed someone there. But not to worry, I do believe this will kill off Boosh, which it does. 141k hit on her. So pretty nice damage. BT was just kind of one of those characters I kind of off the whim was just like, I'm going to Relic 8 him because he does a lot of damage and he's a lot of fun to use. And obviously with Africon at the moment, does make it a lot more enjoyable when your BT hits a lot harder. But probably not something I'd recommend if you're looking for more bang for your buck for your roster and stuff. Obviously Galactic Legends and stuff for Relic 8s are more important. talking of which, I actually need to get my C up to relic 8 in preparation for Bane's release. That would be quite nice. Him and JMK, the only Galactic Legends I don't have at relic 8 or above. JMK probably will never ever go to relic 8 because I just don't feel the need to take him up to relic 8. He does really well at relic 7, but C could be quite a nice relic 8 to do. Being it and obviously having a lifty unit with Bane coming. So next up we have a Cere Taron team. So we've got Taron with all 3 Omicrons, no Omicron on Cere. And I was thinking of just taking Darth Revan lead, but I just thought, considering I've got a relic 9 at Darth Malgus now and 3 Omicrons on him, I thought I might as well just use them by putting him in the lead slot. So either Malgus or Darth Revan lead could work here, with especially without the pre-taunt or any sort of taunt in the way, because obviously you can just leap on Cere at the beginning and get the fear going, slowing them right down. And obviously with Darth Revan you could actually get the death mark on Cere and kill her earlier, but sometimes it's quite nice to just be able to go straight for Taron and kill him first without a death mark getting away, which is kind of a forced taunt. So this was my idea, and I'm kind of hopeful that obviously once we get back up to a decent ranking again, I'll bring the wheel back, because I know a lot of you enjoy me doing that, and I enjoy doing that. It does make Grand Arenas quite a lot of fun, so I do want to bring that back. But obviously once I've just figured everything out in terms of like my schedule and things, because obviously I'm hoping to start uploading more regularly again. Regularly I don't know. More regularly, that's right, there we go. It's too late, it's about midnight. I'm doing this voice open for some reason. So you have to excuse my gibberish. But yeah, hopefully more content to come. Galaxy Heroes and other Star Wars games is the idea once they start to come out, because I do know that there are some pretty cool Star Wars games out. That Ubisoft one, what's it called? Like Outcast or something like that, isn't it? No, it's not Outcast, but it's like, it's the one with the girl with the little like Grogu thing, and the assassin droid that Aphra has. I can't remember whether it's made by Ubisoft, but that looks quite good. I think that should be quite good for some content down the road. And obviously we do have some Respawn games coming out. I know the Mando one got cancelled, but we should hopefully have some other ones to come on the panel. I just saw a nice easy win there. And then we have Raddus, which I do believe we take obviously Cere with Taron and Crew. Obviously Crew is very good in a Cere team for that pre-taunt. Makes, well, I don't know if it stops the Darth Revan counter, but it just makes the things a bit more difficult with an actual in the team. There's a lot of the UFO tanks that aren't particularly great. I would say Crew's probably the best one there is. I mean, Nightsisters is okay, but like over the two, you'd probably want to pick Crew based on what it's actually like. But obviously with Taron there, we can just go straight for Raddus and kill him, because we don't have to worry about any revives, because Taron obviously prevents the revives with his Omicron. But absolutely deleted. The 2 hits there, 100k. Obviously that would have hit even more had he had a higher health pool, but only these 2 hits, and goodbye K2 for a 65 banner win. Then last but not least, first of all, we have Trench, which I do believe we take Phoenix, obviously. Not really too sure what to do with Phoenix at the moment. We do have some Mandocrons, so Sabine does get that a little bit of a lift there, and obviously the light side protecting up and things could be quite nice. But obviously since they got lost all their stacking offensive, I kind of feel like they're just not as good for like a decent meta team, I suppose. But obviously still do a decent job against some of the B-tier. Absolutely destroying this team. But we're just going to let Django ruin our day, probably, as he usually would do. Yeah, I do have some more Datacrons I need to build. I would like to build a Rebel Fighter Cron with the Jin level 9 for Raddus, obviously, because most of that team is Rebel Fighter anyway. The Raddus team that you saw me use earlier, I think 4 out of the 5 were Rebel Fighters. Obviously, the only one that isn't is Raddus. I think K2, Cassian, Jin, and SRP are all Rebel Fighters, so all gain benefits from having a Rebel Fighter Cron. So I would like to build one for that. And then I do have a Cron, more Empire Crons to build, obviously, because there are a lot of Empire teams. So I would like to build some more Empire Crons, hopefully before, well, before not too long, I should say, so that I can actually start to use some proper Crons, because I haven't really been re-rolling anything because I haven't really known what to look for. But also I have started to look at that, and obviously we are going to be trying to work towards the meta Crons that we can get, and obviously the fun ones that there are as well. I do have that Biggs Cron, that Biggs counter versus LV. Was it LV that Arnold did? I can't remember now, but that did look quite fun. Now we're taking Wampa. I've sped this one up because you guys would have seen Wampa versus Mon Mothma God knows how many times. Basically, what you got to do is just wait for an opening on Cara to kill her when she's not got potency up, if she does have her Zeta. So we do obviously eventually get that. The defense down from Saw is kind of annoying, but luckily I've got a relic, so Wampa is able to withstand the hits. And like I said, we're literally just waiting for potency up to wear off, which I do believe it does there. Kill Cara, she's not coming back because obviously Mon Mothma's revive has already been used to bring back Saw, and the cooldown on that is ridiculously long. So by the time she would get around to that, obviously the whole team is dead, as you can there. So next up, I think it's the last team we have on the ground zones, is Phoenix. And did we take, I think we took Iden against this. Obviously, since my last episode that I did of my state of my account, which is the last video I actually uploaded just before New Year's, I was talking about what I would have wanted to do for my relics. Obviously wanted to push the higher relics of some of the characters I already have, so I did actually take Iden to relic 8, obviously for the raid and things, and Iden is an absolute monster at relic 8. Obviously for the raid, her character herself hits like an absolute truck, and obviously she has a very good ship, so 3 for the price of 1 is a very good investment. I would highly recommend you guys taking your Iden to relic 8 if you can. Definitely worthwhile investment, I think. Yeah, I was kind of hoping to kill Rex at the beginning, but unfortunately did not work out the way I wanted it to. So probably just going to go around the sides. This is a very odd Phoenix team. Looks like a Phoenix team because it's got bones in there as well. Got Cody and Wrecker. Which kind of makes me wonder what happened. Oh, they don't have LV. That was the thing. They didn't have LV, so I'm guessing they probably didn't have everyone at relics for Bad Batch, so it probably makes sense to put Wrecker with. Not that Iden has a problem. Yeah, just one of those unfortunate things where my GP and my opponent's GP obviously has a massive difference. I think my opponent was 10.4 million GP sort of at the beginning, so it's about $1.5 million less than me. So, be sorry to my opponent for that. It's just have to me not doing any Grand Arena for the last 2 months. Well, like properly at least. But yeah, there we go. A nice 65 banner win. Also, that means we moved to ships. The other thing was they didn't have Leviathan either, so we don't have to worry about that. That is going to be interesting when I have to face that for the first time, because I haven't run an Empire fight versus a Leviathan in God knows how long. But yeah, very easy fleet war to deal with the ships that I have available. So we're going to take Profundity first against the Malevolence. I am taking extra ships just to be safe, because I do not trust my ship abilities. Well, my ability to play ships, I should say. And yeah, make things a bit easier for myself. I have to worry so much about trying to keep my banners when I've obviously been clean the rest of the board. I don't need to worry about banners too much. So I might as well take the reinforcements if I can. Luckily managed to kill some fat before he stunned anyone, which is quite nice. Tried to get the shield disruption on Hyena, didn't work unfortunately. Then we just bring in Phantom. Not getting any assist as usual. Until I just said it, and obviously we did get assists. Yeah. pretty straightforward fight, really. Yeah, what was I saying actually? Oh, Queen Amidala's obviously coming to the game. I'm kind of predicting that we might actually see Captain Panaka and this is probably a bit of a stretch because I know they said they're having 2 characters. Well, I reckon, but Captain Panaka has to be one. I would be very surprised if he wasn't. Obviously getting Queen Amidala as the next conquest unit, and then I would really like to see a light side Palpatine. I think that could be really cool, like a Senator Palpatine, because I believe he was my Star Wars knowledge is pretty awful, but I believe he was Senator for Naboo during Phantom Menace, wasn't he? Before he got the obviously Supreme Chancellor or whatever. I'm pretty sure he was Senator, wasn't he? I have no idea, but Senator Palpatine could be a pretty cool like passive character for Galactic Republic on the light side, because no one knew he was the dark side forces at that point. But I think that could be quite interesting, quite fun to see. Next up we have Executor versus First Order. This is a pretty straightforward fight again. I'm anard whether I should take Boba Fett, but decided I would in the end just in case. Because I know crew can do some pretty nasty damage at the right scenarios, so playing it safe for to make sure we don't drop any silly fights. Yeah, like I was saying, Senator Palpatine would be really fun. I think you can give him loads of like passive abilities. He could be quite make him like a deceiving character. Do have some sort of like deceive in there. Obviously, like he had with C's kit. I feel like that'd be quite a fun character to put on the light side. Not something you probably expect either, because obviously we just know Palpatine as like the Emperor being dark side. You couldn't even like put him as neutral because he's definitely not neutral either. So you'd have to be a light side Senator like we saw in films. And there you go, 75 banner win versus that, and obviously we had the last fleet base, which is Raddus, and we're going to be taking Tarkin and the Scythe. Very good counter against this. You can undersize this with like high advanced Scythe and the Gauntlet, Imperial Super Commando and Guard, but just playing it safe, obviously trying to figure things out again, going with a proper Empire squad. And as you may have noticed, obviously when I was bringing up the fleets, my endurance is now my best or my highest GP ship in the game, because I now have a Relic 9 mace. Don't ask me why I did that or when I did that. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure I was pretty intoxicated at the time, and obviously I'd been talking about wanted Relic at mace. I think I must have just bitten the bullet and done it. I think I realized I'd done it, and I was a bit like, oh, okay, well, we got Relic 9 mace now. And I mean, don't actually regret it, because I really actually like using mace, and we might be able to try and get some use out of endurance as well. Not that I'm really too confident that we actually will, but might be able to use that with like the Bad Batch ship, depending on down the road whether we get any more Galactic Republic ships. But unfortunately didn't finish the battle there. I was really hoping we would get this one hit. We finished Rey's ship off. Luckily we just get so many stacks of formation. Everyone's just doing ridiculous amount of damage. 159k there, 70k from Raider to finish, and that is a win. My opponent only came back and attacked me for 80 banners. I did obviously full clear for a really good score of 1857, but kind of really expected. Obviously it was really nice for me not to actually use any Galactic Legends at all. Obviously I had 6 on the bench. 6, right? How many Galactic Legends do we have now? The 8? Obviously I got 2 on defense, and I think I had 6 on offense and didn't use any of them. So also going to be trying out some counters of things, trying to get back into the swing of things going forward. So I do hope you enjoyed. Also, if you have a like and comment, is always much appreciated, and don't forget to hit that sub button down below, and I shall catch you in the next one.